Hey folks, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the world of wearables, specifically the hottest Android smartwatches of 2024. Whether you're a fitness fanatic, a fashion enthusiast, or just want to stay connected on the go, there's a perfect smartwatch out there for you. Links and prices will be included in the description below. So let's jump into the countdown. 5. Garmin Vivimove Sport. If all you want is simple fitness tracking and notifications in a more subtle device, the $179.99 Garmin Vivimove Sport is a great affordable option. It looks like a swatch complete with real analog hands, but has a hidden LED for notifications. Basically, if you don't want people to know you've got a smartwatch on, a hybrid smartwatch is the way to go. Plus, it's compatible with both iOS and Android if you want to reserve the option to switch between both ecosystems. You are giving up certain smart features like contactless payments, digital assistants, and built-in GPS. The hidden display can deliver the basics, like notifications, the time, and basic health stats. However, what it lacks in smarts, it makes up for with battery life. You get an estimated 5 days on a single charge. On the fitness front, an accurate tracker despite its lack of built-in GPS. As for health tracking, you get access to a ton of in-depth data from Garmin's platform. Alternatively, you can opt for the next step up with the $269.99 Vivimove Trend. While the Sport is the perfect price for a hybrid, there are a few scenarios where shelling out a little extra for the Trend makes sense. For starters, the hidden LCD display fills the entire watch face. The Sport only displays information on the bottom half of the screen. That's easier to read entire notifications. Plus, it's more legible as you benefit from larger fonts. The Trend also has a dressier look thanks to the stainless steel bezel, making it better suited for business meetings or formal events. Lastly, the Trend supports key charging. If you've already got key chargers, that means less clutter on your nightstand. 4. Mobvoi TicWatch Pro 5. Mobvoi's TicWatch lineup has its devoted fans for a reason: super long battery life. The $249.99 TicWatch Pro 5 is no exception. It's got an estimated 80 hours of battery life with standard use, a secondary ultra-low power display, and a massive for a smartwatch you wear on your wrist, at least 628 mAh battery. I didn't quite get 80 hours in my testing, but I did get a solid 48 to 60 hours even with heavy GPS use. That outclasses most of the watches in this category and is useful for backpackers and endurance athletes. It might not hold a candle to a top-of-the-line Garmin, but it's also a smarter watch for a fraction of the price. Battery life aside, Mobvoi's watches are a great alternative to the Fossil Gen 6, and the Pro 5 is a good option for fitness-focused people who aren't keen on giving up smart capabilities for a Garmin or Polar. It's also more durable than Fossil's fashion watches or the Pixel Watch. This time around, Mobvoi has also added a digital crown so you don't have to worry about scrolling through menus with sweaty fingers. The flatter side button also reduces the risk of accidental presses. The Pro 5 also has an ingenious method of displaying heart rate. When you lift up your arm, the backlight changes color depending on which heart rate zone you're in. That means you can instantly gauge whether to up the intensity or slow your roll. The Pro 5 also adds new training metrics like VO2 max and recovery time. The TicWatch supports stress tracking, all-day blood oxygen monitoring, fatigue assessments, as well as atrial fibrillation and irregular heartbeat detection. 3. Google Pixel Watch 2 GPS. The $349.99 Google Pixel Watch 2 is a significant improvement over the original. The Galaxy Watch 6 lineup will still get you a more polished overall experience, but the Pixel Watch 2 is the better choice for Android users who aren't on a Samsung smartphone. That's because of ecosystems. Some features of Samsung's watches only work with Samsung phones. Broadly speaking, the Pixel Watch doesn't care what Android phone you have. You'll get the same experience regardless. That said, its call screening feature will only work if you pair it with a Tensor-equipped Pixel phone. It's a little disappointing. Compared to Samsung, the Pixel Watch 2 doesn't gatekeep health features based on what phone you have. It's also always going to have the latest updates to Google services like Google Maps, Google Wallet, YouTube Music, and Google Assistant because, well, it's Google's smartwatch. With the Pixel Watch 2, Google also added Calendar and Gmail to its list of supported apps. Speaking of which, buying the Pixel Watch 2 will also get you a 6-month trial of Fitbit Premium, a 1-month trial of YouTube Music. The most important upgrade from last year is that the battery reliably lasts 24 hours with the always-on display enabled. Some of this is due to the more power-efficient Wear OS 4 and a new Qualcomm Snapdragon 885 processor. It also needs zippier performance overall. It's also switched to a pin charging system, which translates to much faster charging. You can get about 50% in 30 minutes, and a full charge takes about 75 minutes. Because of a firmware update, the original Pixel Watch now charges more slowly, so the difference is extra noticeable. 2. Samsung Galaxy Watch 5 Pro 45mm Bluetooth. The switch to Wear OS means you're getting a much more robust third-party app experience than on Tizen-powered Samsung smartwatches, like the Galaxy Watch 3 and the Galaxy Watch Active lineup. You also get more flexibility on services than with any other Wear OS watch. For example, if you want to kick Bixby to the curb in favor of Google Assistant, you can. If you want a more in-depth look at how the Galaxy Watch 5 stacks up compared to the Pixel Watch in particular, you can check out our Versus video. The majority of the points still apply to the Watch 6, as not a whole lot has changed. Samsung Health also delivers a good overall fitness tracking experience, especially since you can enable turn-by-turn navigation for hiking and cycling activities. Samsung is expanding this to include walks and runs with One UI 5 watch. We were too impressed with nightly Spoke 2 readings, but Samsung's overall sleep tracking continues to improve. You also get built-in GPS, body composition analysis, irregular heart rate notifications, fault detection, emergency SOS features, and EKGs. We don't necessarily recommend the Galaxy Watch 6 series or 5 Pro if you don't have a Samsung phone. EKGs require the Samsung Health Monitor app, which is limited to Samsung phones. Also, while you can customize the buttons to launch your digital assistant of choice, the shortcut for contactless payments is hard-coded to Samsung Pay/Wallet, which is also gated to Samsung phones unless you sideload the APK, and requires you to sign up for Samsung service. You can work around it, but all Samsung watches work best with other Samsung devices. 1. Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 Classic 43mm Bluetooth. If you have a Samsung phone, you'll get the most mileage out of a Samsung smartwatch. And of the 3 watches Samsung has in its current lineup, I recommend the Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 Classic. First off, it's got a rotating physical bezel, and said bezel is now 15% thinner than the Galaxy Watch 4 Classic. The updated design is sleeker than its predecessor, and a larger display is easier on the eyes and is only slightly bigger at 43mm and 47mm. I have small wrists, but the 47mm was still quite comfortable for everyday wear. It's launching with Wear OS 4, which adds extended battery life, and finally, cloud backups. One UI 5 watch also adds some minor health and sleep tracking improvements, but this will eventually make its way to older models. While I prefer the Classic, the base Watch 6 model may be the better option if you want a smaller, lighter, sleeker, and cheaper smartwatch. Overall, the Galaxy Watch 6 series is an iterative update, but I appreciate that battery life has improved to the point where I'm no longer anxious whether it'll last me the entire day. Of course, your mileage will vary depending on your individual use and which settings you enable. For example, turning on continuous Spoke 2 sensing at night can make the battery drain faster, but using bedtime mode can mitigate that so you only lose 10 to 15% overnight instead of 25 to 30%. Last year's $449.99 Galaxy Watch 5 Pro will also get you a great overall experience. Those are the top 5 Android smartwatches of 2024. Remember, the best smartwatch depends on your individual needs and preferences. Consider factors like battery life, health features, design, and budget before making your choice. Let me know in the comments below which smartwatch caught your eye, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more tech goodness.